Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
They're here.
Welcome back and happy Halloween-ish. It's close enough. This is our Halloween episode.
Next week is Halloween.
This is our Halloween episode.
Ooh. That explains why you're wearing that costume.
Yes. Sexy cat.
It's upsetting, yet erotic, all at the same time.
Halloween is coming up on a Monday. Basically, everyone's going to be celebrating it on a Saturday. I think including the town of Hollowell.
Yes.
Basically. Also, free comics on Saturday for Halloween.
All comics are free?
No.
Oh.
Make me a terrible businessman.
So which ones are free on Saturday?
The Halloween ones.
All the Halloween ones?
It's an annual thing.
That's
Halloween Fest.
Cool. Ooh.
I haven't looked at them yet. They might be crap. They might be good. But they're free one way or the other, so...
Free is free.
Except for me.
Well, you're not free.
They were not free.
But you're giving them to the people.
Yep.
Power to the people.
Unless they stick around, and then I'll throw them in a quarter bin.
Oh, wow. So you'll make some money off of them one way or the other.
No, probably not.
Oh, well.
Do we have anything? Do you want to announce what you had over the weekend? Because you yelled about it for like a month.
I had steak.
Good for you.
And chicken.
You're like a 1940s prospector.
And
I had a steak and a milk and a whiskey.
Delicious.
The everyday meal of the 1940s prospector.
Yes, there will be blood.
No one drank your milkshake.
No one drank my milkshake. No, I had my birthday. We had a lovely birthday dinner, although we had to wait for some time, and then they couldn't get us a group table, so we were separated into two booths. But a fun time was had nonetheless.
You were yelling about it for a month, and that was really understated. Like, my birthday.
My birthday.
It happened.
Yeah, that's the thing. I turned older.
Age ain't nothing but a number, baby.
It's true.
Unless it's less than half your age plus 7, and then it's not a good number.
No.
That's a bad number.
That's shun. I did the little shunning motion. How was the con in Portland?
Oh yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Yeah.
It was fine. It wasn't crazy numbers, but people showed up. They bought stuff. Saw some people I knew, saw some people I didn't.
Were there any guest speakers?
They had a couple of things. I was working, so I didn't really see what it was.
Did you meet some new people?
Yeah, actually, this one guy bought an NES game off me early on in the show. He's like, "Oh, hey, I just want to give it to a friend of mine who just had their birthday. This is something they're looking for." I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." There's someone working a table next to me, and then probably the most famous current working comic artist man rolls up. He's like, "Oh, here it is." I'm like, "That's your friend? This is the friend you were buying this for? You could have name dropped."
Wow.
This is Sean Gordon Murphy. I'm like, you could have said it was for him.
Would you have like gift wrapped it for him?
No, I just thought it was funny. He's like, "Oh yeah, nondescript friend," and then like up rolls like probably the most famous current working artist in Maine. I'm like, nice friend.
And now you have had shared ownership at one point of this Nintendo game.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Well, now you can like have that be your claim to fame.
That doesn't even be like prima nocta or something. That's just...
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying now if someone's like, "Oh, what's your claim to fame?" and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this guy has my video game. I sold it to him by a friend. Proxy."
No, that's not how accomplishments work.
Oh.
I was at a place selling things and someone bought it.
Ooh, and then they gifted it.
Yeah. No, that's not an accomplishment. I just thought it was funny. But
Oh.
it was fine, and it's always, working main shows is always a little bit entertaining, because with a lot of people that are working there is a community in itself, but then there's also some spoken rivalries and some unspoken ones, and it's just kind of funny.
Was there a fight?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I was talking to one of the shop owners, and they were being nice to like, don't believe any rumors. Like, if you have any questions, blah, 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 feel free to reach out. I'm like, look, I'm so far away from everyone. I'm Switzerland. It doesn't really matter.
Wow. So, like, were you worried about there being, like, some sort of comic book turf battle?
No. There is to a point for some people, but for me, there's not, because
You're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
But it's working. Your location.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like there's a comic book store, like, further down Water Street and you guys, like, meet in the back alley and fight every other week.
No, that'd be weird. It'd be weird if there was another local area. I'd be like, what are you doing?
They just show up and be like, I'm going to start a comic book store.
Oh, good. We'll both be failures now. Thank God.
Oh, wow.
Hop on board this sinking ship with me.
Oh, no. Hey, but you have the market cornered on clink bags.
I don't. Other people do that too.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Other comic book store owners?
as far as I know, I'm the only one.
All right. Sounds good. Did you see, by the way, the guy in Portland who dressed as a tree this week and got arrested?
Yeah, what a dumb son of a bitch.
I just thought I'd share that with you.
He thought, like, I saw an interview, I didn't read it all because I got really annoyed with it.
It was a really good tree costume.
Like, how high were you?
Well, I mean, he was inside of a tree, so...
It's like, I was meditating and then I had this vision of this thing I had to do. I'm like, shut up.
He was on a spirit quest.
I hate him so much.
A vision quest, if you would.
I hate him for being so stupid and for how high he was in public.
Good on him. Good on him.
When anyone opens up with, like, this came to me in the void of my meditation.
In the void? Then you're having a really bad meditation
Yeah.
if it's a void. Like, there's nothing in it. Although I've never
You're
really...
supposed to have, like, peacefulness and, like, your mind should be blank. Hey, the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Let's start sad and build.
So, starting from the bottom.
Now we're here.
All right.
Yeah, I know some Drake. What of it?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, I'll consider this the low point of the week. Apparently, Bruce Springsteen said that he had written a song for Harry Potter that was unused. And a lot of people were like, let's hear it. I remember when he did that for Jerry Maguire. Let's not. Let's assume this was a good choice.
You didn't like his song Secret Garden from...
I'm going with the other one that was just a series of clips from the movie.
Oh, what was that song from Jerry Maguire that he...
The Secret
Oh,
Garden.
yeah, that's what I see.
There was another one that was just like, he'd sing for a little while and then like a sound clip would pop up.
Now I've got to see this. Was it like a recut of Secret Garden?
I heard it on like his like Bruce Springsteen's greatest hits. I'm like, how is this the greatest hit? It's just clips from Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire's a good movie.
Not in the middle of a song.
No. I don't know if I had Secret Garden.
We can't play it on the show.
I know that, because we have to pay. Enough of fact-checking that part of the show.
Look, I'm all for
That's
the
your
boss.
sad part?
Yeah, I feel like, do we need New Jersey and Harry Potter? No, we do not. Tim Miller, the director of the first Deadpool, he's off the project.
What?
He's off Deadpool 2.
Why?
Creative differences with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. I mean...
He's on another movie with Fox. Like, apparently they went like, all right, if you're off that, we'll put you on something else.
So he's not out of a job completely then?
No. But there was this weird... Ryan Reynolds, he's pretty funny overall on Twitter. But he threw up this tweet that has since been deleted. He's like, where should the final climactic battle of Deadpool 2 take place? Gave like little Twitter polls like, a bridge? Or the other option was, or another bridge. And then he deleted them. Like, were you guys fighting about...
Which bridge?
I just think it was like kind of passive-aggressive, like, because they already had a big bridge fight in the first one.
You know what I like? I like how he responds to people who troll him on Twitter. Have you ever seen his response to Twitter trolls?
It's creepy.
It's funny, I think.
Yeah, people are asking him to like do all these like terrible, depraved things. He's like, I'm like in a soup kitchen. Sorry, Ken. I'm in a soup kitchen or something like that. Or like these orphans, like these crippled orphans, won't walk themselves or something.
Yeah, I know. I think it's just funny how he responds to some creepy people who are like asking him to do these like outrageous sex acts to him.
I think that they're looking for him to respond though because he does it so regularly.
But it's I like how he responds with like, these people are saying some graphic, vulgar things that would make Zach blush, and he just responds with like, helping old women cross the street today. Can't do that.
Yeah.
I found this young puppy which I am helping take to the animal shelter.
I don't know. Deadpool 2, I'm a little weary of it. And the first one worked, but Deadpool's something that really works well in small doses. And I don't know if it's going to be able to work as a series of films. Maybe it will.
We'll see.
Even though I enjoyed the first one, I don't have a ton of faith in it.
I mean, people were entertained, and right now, I mean, Marvel movies are a license to print money, pretty much.
Yeah, but I've also, on the retail side of things, I've seen the Deadpool bubble come and burst insanely hard.
Also, it was like the dot-com bubble of the late 90s and early 2000s.
I mean, anything like that, but people were buying Deadpool left and right. Deadpool was basically my income for like 3 months.
And then it just stopped.
Oh my god, it couldn't have... Whew!
Well, you got more Star Wars coming up in a month and a
Yeah,
half.
I know. I appreciate that. Thanks, Christmas.
Yay!
Star Wars is the new Santa Claus. I was trying to think of other Christmas mascots. Krampus? Star Wars is better than Krampus.
Krampus is Krampus the guy from Santa's Sleigh? Or did you ever see that one? No. Krampus
How is Slay spelled?
Slay.
It might be Krampus, but I've never seen that movie.
Stars Bill Goldberg. The opening scene is hilarious. Like Chris Kattan, Fran Drescher are in it, like some real famous people. And Bill Goldberg is playing Santa.
Real famous?
Okay, like middle of the road famous.
Tell me the last movie Chris Kattan did.
Night at the Roxbury.
That's like 97.
Okay, now I'm gonna fact check the show and find out.
Nope, you
movies
don't need to. That's the point.
Chris Kattan.
The point is that you can't name anything he's done. He's not that famous.
He was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, go to find a millennial. Be like, who's Chris Kattan? They're like,
Night at the Roxbury, 1990. Let's see, Corky Romano. I forgot about that movie.
we all did.
He's in the middle. Monkey Bone, Undercover Brother, a movie called Totally Awesome, which I'm guessing that movie was not totally awesome.
Point being, actually, this has no point because we were talking about Santa. Star Wars is coming.
Santa Slate,
Yay.
2005. There you go.
Speaking of Star Wars, in a very roundabout way, you know how George Lucas wasn't involved with that?
He wasn't?
No.
Well, I know that because he sold it for like $1 million bazillion.
It was like 4.3 or something.
That's still a lot of money.
Billion.
Yeah, with a B.
He is not going to be involved in Indiana Jones.
Really?
So, of everyone who's ever been involved, and they've had some repeats on that. It's always been like him and Spielberg, Harrison Ford, having Kathleen Kennedy on those.
Spielberg's on board with it, right?
I guess it's not super clear, but Lucas definitely isn't. I imagine Spielberg is.
Yeah, I would imagine so too.
But no Lucas. I
Interesting.
guess that was part, he sold off all that stuff, but still he's been a pillar of that franchise.
Well, he's the one that usually comes up with the story.
Yeah, but it probably didn't help that he called Disney the white slave owners.
Yeah, that's not going to win you much in the way of admiration.
So I'm not really that surprised. I'm like, okay.
No, because I remember like some of the featurettes about some of the different Indiana Jones stories, and the original title for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was Indiana Jones and the Saucermen from Mars, and Spielberg's like, no, that's way too over the top, George, way too over the top. He's like, I've already done Aliens with Close Encounters. He didn't want to do an alien picture.
Yeah. I don't know. How's the new one going to work? Because that movie came out 8 years ago, and they were like, look at how old he is. It's going to be like a decade later. They're going to be like, look how super old he is.
Here's the other
Just doesn't
piece
make
of it.
sense.
Is like, what is left for him to look for? What is it going to be?
Well, okay, so the last one was in the 50s, so this is going to be in the 1960s. He's going to kill some swingers? I don't know.
Is it going to be Shia LaBeouf?
No, he's not coming back.
No
way. He badmouthed that movie when it was still out. So
what about
no.
Karen Allen?
I'd like to see her again.
I like the dynamic of that. So Mutt's going to be gone probably.
But I don't want to see 70-year-old Harrison Ford
Fighting Russians again?
Well, not even. I don't want to see him as like a womanizer at 70.
Maybe he's like,
nope.
yeah, there's
Don't want to see it.
I'm just trying to think of where you could go with that.
I don't know. Indiana Jones in the 1960s. God, that doesn't sound appealing.
Does he take on the beginning of the disco movement?
Saying that out loud, boy. Yeah.
I thought that the last one wrapped up nicely. I liked, like we've said before,
Indiana Jones.
In the Minority.
Wait.
I like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I'm trying to come up with like a fun adjective in there, like Indiana. I don't know. I can't come up. It's like Indiana Jones and the Dancing Queen. It's just not gonna work.
Indiana Jones and the Quest for Geritol.
Oh God, it's gonna be a good movie. But yeah, no George Lucas on Indiana Jones 5. Oh well. Actual sad news. Artist Steve Dillon has passed away at 53. He's best known for being the co-creator of Preacher and doing the Punisher Max line, and he was still currently working on the Punisher series now. Died for such a crap reason, like a burst appendix.
Oh,
He just didn't realize it.
that's scary.
What a crap way to die. And just, it's so pointless. It's
Yeah.
not like
Because the appendix.
you were doing like drugs or alcohol or had some like kind of stupid accident or even like a disease that you knew was like, that's such a crap way to go.
Yeah, especially where the appendix, it could do it does nothing but could kill you.
Yeah, so when it was announced that he had died, it didn't come out for a little bit. What happened? And they're like, burst appendix. I'm like, really? Of all the what an awful, stupid.
So he got
thing.
sepsis and he went into chemical shock.
I'm not. We don't need to go into details of it, but it is legitimately sad. He was a legendary artist, and he was still working today. And because 53, not that old.
No, it's not.
I mean, he really did a lot for the industry with his work on Preacher, and that book is, regarded usually in like your top 10 books of all time, and he's co-creator on it.
Are you one of those people that if you get like a sharp pain in your lower abdomen, like you freak out, like you might have an appendix problem?
No.
Oh, I am. Totally am. And then I just find out that I really have either like really bad gas or something. Not to make light of the situation, but like
No, but
I've always been scared of my appendix going.
he was a great artist, great work on Preacher, great work on Punisher. Terrible, tragic death, and he'll be missed, but he will be remembered. Sad news. No joke there.
No.
Good news.
Yes, please.
Lando Calrissian has been cast.
I saw this. I'm excited.
Donald Glover is young Lando.
Yes.
Does he have a mustache and cape?
I'm sure he will. He should.
That'd be the best.
I was disappointed to find out he's not related to Danny Glover, though.
No?
No. Because he could have had like the whole like buddy cop thing.
I wonder how much he's going to be in the movie.
I would think maybe a decent amount. The other thing I'm excited about for this Han Solo movie is maybe we get to see like an actual
Han Solo prequel, a Star Wars story origin movie, Han Solo movie.
Yeah, which is 2 years away, 3 years away now, 2 years.
Yeah,
but you know what we get to see that's exciting for me at least, like a cleaned up, spiffy Millennium Falcon.
It's only not gonna be that much earlier in the run. I mean, they talk about this movie like this. This actor's only a couple of years younger than when Harrison Ford was when he was Han Solo. They can't be that much time in between this and when we first meet him.
I mean, I'm excited about this, standalone Han Solo movie, but like, what story is there to tell? Unless
how he got his vest.
No,
He got it
unless
from Greedo, or that's how it was in the old canon.
Unless, and hear me out, right? These standalone movies are actually setting the table to learn more about Rey.
It might be connected. This probably won't be. We'll get, if Lando's in it, we'll get how he won the Millennium Falcon, I'm sure.
Yes.
I assume it was through a game of Strip Go Fish.
No. Maybe they were selling death sticks.
That's such a dumb moment, but I like it.
They were betting on that weird wannabe robot football game. That sports bar that Obi-Wan and Anakin go into in Attack of the Clones.
That was their game on there?
Coruscant, yeah. It was like a football type droid game.
I don't know. Good casting. There was I saw there was a picture online floating around that showed like a picture of him in his high school yearbook. I'm not sure what year, but he was wearing a Star Wars t-shirt.
Irony.
Well, he's just always been a fan, so good for him. He's a good actor.
No, it should be exciting and entertaining to have him. I'm excited for that casting.
Yeah. No, I have no idea who the Han Solo guy is. I don't think I've seen him in anything. Eldon Reich.
It's a weird
last
name, yeah.
I don't think I've seen him in anything. Donald Glover, I know and I like him. I just want to know if he's going to have a mustache and a cape.
Of course he will. He'll at least have a mustache. Hopefully a cape.
And a sweet cape.
If you only have one or the other, which one would you want him to have?
Cape. Because you'll see mustaches in the real world.
Yeah.
When do you ever see a cape?
I don't know, but there's a man dressed as a tree in Portland, so...
That's fair.
Thank you. Was he going to the Comic-Con? Oh, it was yesterday that he got arrested. What would you have done if this tree guy had walked into the con in Portland?
I mean, people were in costumes, so...
Well, I mean, there's no tree, like, superhero, is there?
Groot.
Yeah, but... Okay, Groot is different than, like, a fir tree. Just saying. A Christmas tree.
Dumb bastard.
Anyway...
in comic book news, it doesn't look like all the X-Men books are being canceled.
Good for them. Fully on them.
Oh, it was questionable. They're doing this whole Death of X storyline right now. And the theory was maybe they were all going to get canceled because Fox owns the rights to all those characters. And they already scrapped the Fantastic Four book and just cherry-picked the popular characters.
Ah.
So the way the contract reads is just that Fox has X number of characters. Any new character that is introduced in an X-Men book automatically becomes the right of Fox, or in a Fantastic Four book. So they ditched the Fantastic Four for the first time in publication history.
Until the contract expires?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Or
And they just picked the popular characters and put them in other places.
The end of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Making Fantastic Four stories without calling it a Fantastic Four story.
Mm-hmm. But with like books like The Death of X, the theory was, well, maybe all the X-Men books are going to get canned. Apparently not. It came out this week that they're going to have something called Resurrection. Heavy on the
with an X in there, yeah.
But they're not being canned, so good on them.
Bravo.
Way to still be profitable, I guess.
Can't keep a good mutant down.
I thought they might, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like the books still sell decently, but they're owned by Disney. So, like, even if Disney took like the hit of we don't have the X-Men books anymore, they could go, okay, we're still Disney.
Yeah.
We're doing fine.
Disney's not hurting for...
Yeah, they don't need that X-Men money.
No, they don't. I need that X-Men money. You need that X-Men money.
I need that X-Men money. If anyone needs that X-Men money, it's me.
Dial them up. Be like, hi, I'm Zach. I own Editor's Note Comics in Hollowell, Maine, and I need that X-Men money.
It's a very small amount of money. Like, I don't care. Give it to me.
Well, small, relatively speaking. It'd be more than enough than you needed, probably.
It's always so weird and intrusive. I never know how to answer, but I do kind of have a go-to. People like, oh, so how are sales going? I'm like, a weird question. I'm not going to tell you. But the answer I give is always kind of like the same uniform one. I'm like, look, I could always use more money.
That's a good point.
I will never say
That's
that
a
I've
good
made
answer.
enough.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a reasonable question people might have. Like, how's the business going? How's, it's not easy being a small business.
Well, even though I was supposed to be like, I don't know, it's real week to week. It's always such a weird question. Like, yeah.
You'd be like, hey, buy this comic book and I'll tell you.
Like, well, the more you buy, the better I'm doing.
Has anyone come in and paid money to have their picture taken with Leo? Or have you just allowed people to take pictures?
It's more than that.
Yeah, I didn't see that money-making item going very long in that fashion.
No, I have to put something up. It's weird to like yell at people from afar. Be like, hey, stop taking a photo.
Or just let them take a photo and know that they're going to be buying stuff from your store.
He's certainly noticeable.
He's not unnoticeable. I try and see him when I drive by the store. Do you hear me honk every day when I drive by?
Yep. I mean, people honk a lot of that intersection. There's about 15 accidents a day.
Have you seen an accident yet?
No, I'm really surprised.
Are you like hoping?
No, I don't want to see that.
Well, like not like an accident where somebody gets like seriously hurt, but I mean like a fender bender, somebody gets out and starts shouting out like, "Hey, what the hell?" kind of thing.
No, I don't want to have any part of that.
Because you'd have to like go make a statement.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Think about the free advertising though. Let's say there's a fender bender, right? And you go out there and like some of the people are interviewing, like the paper's interviewing. Maybe like the seafood truck spills over or something. Zach Bowen, owner of Editor's Note Comics, he'd be like, "Yeah, in honor of this this moment here, we're gonna 50% off Aquaman comics. Come on down."
Nope, that would be in poor taste to use other people's tragedy as a way to make money.
So there is certain things you wouldn't do to make money.
The only time that the news have come in, I just told them to go away.
Fair, reasonable.
It had nothing to do with me though. So
what if they come and interview you on like Old Halloween Day, Halloween, Halloween,
then I'll go under a pseudonym but use the business name.
Oh, owner of Editor's Note Comics,
Josh.
Champ.
But yeah, X-Men books are going to keep going to the surprise of most. But good on them. We got a couple trailers this week. Let's start small and build up.
I like it.
Guardians of the Galaxy had its first tease. Unless you count the Comic-Con footage, then it's its second tease.
I would say this is like the first like legitimate tease. Because like Comic-Con isn't like widespread, but I mean stuff gets out anyway.
No.
But this is like the first wide distribution.
I didn't even watch any of the pirated footage.
Oh.
So I really have nothing to say about it. So this is my first taste of it.
Same here.
It's not very long, but I tried to do a bit of a breakdown on it. My big fear, and it still might come true, is I went through and I did like this whole like trailer breakdown, and I'm trying to like analyze everything. I'm going, when we're recording the podcast, or like when I'm cutting it, they're going to drop the full first trailer, and this breakdown is going to be worthless and pointless.
Well, it's your initial react. It's like those videos on YouTube that you can find them all the time, like all the hidden Easter eggs in the first trailer of this movie.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
how
afraid
big
that it's going to come out. A real trailer will happen while I'm talking about this teaser, or even worse, when I'm editing it.
I don't think a real trailer is going to come out in the next 2 days.
I don't know. James Gunn said that a real trailer was coming soon.
Well, probably like maybe the Thanksgiving.
And this was their tease.
Oh.
It's only like a minute, 30 seconds or so. It doesn't give us a lot of story, but if you start hitting your spacebar a lot, you might see some things.
True. You did a thorough breakdown when I was here. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. Trailer opens up, and we see that they have a little sign that they've scrawled on. It's like spacesuits are for emergency use only, or fun.
Yeah.
And a few months ago, we saw concept art of them in space fighting a giant like Tyrannosaurus octopus monster.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That could be one name.
You like that?
It could work.
Octosaurus.
But I
Space
assume
Octosaurus.
that show them all with like jetpacks shooting at it, so I assume it's going to be something like that for their spacesuits. We know that Peter Quill's father is going to be Ego, the living planet. That's also going to be played by Kurt Russell.
I like Kurt Russell.
So do I.
Big Trouble in Little China.
He lives in Maine a good chunk of the time.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I was unaware. I liked him a lot in Miracle, too. I'm trying to think of other Kurt Russell movies I really, really liked.
Escape from New York.
Oh, that was a good one.
Escape from L.A. Let's keep saying escape-related movies.
Snake.
The Thing.
Oh, yeah, he was in The Thing, wasn't he?
The Thing remake, the John Carpenter
Yeah.
one, the 1950s one. That was Thing from Another World, anyway. He was recently in, what was the name of that Tarantino flick? Hateful Eight.
Oh, yes. I want to see that. That looks really good.
It is really good.
Is that on Netflix?
I don't know. It's fine. It's pretty good.
Is it better than Django?
I enjoyed it more than Django.
I really liked Django a lot.
Django was another one where I liked most of it.
What didn't you like about Django?
I haven't seen it in long enough that I'd have to go back. Like the pacing of it was weird. The ending kind of came out of nowhere, and then there was that like weird like last like 15 minutes after what felt like a natural conclusion.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I've never been into Tarantino's fascination with wanting to make the audience uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can't think of a Tarantino film where there wasn't like a...
I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's messed up.
Like, I understand it. You know what the N-word is. Let's move on.
I think I was more uncomfortable with like the Mandingo fighting scene where he beats the man to death with a hammer and blinds him with his thumbs.
Yeah, but Tarantino, he's a comic book guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like Reservoir Dogs, there was stuff about like the Fantastic Four in there.
Well, and with his like Grindhouse stuff that he did, that's like straight up.
What a terrible movie. His half of it.
No, but Grindhouse did give us one good thing. Machete.
I mean, Planet Terror was fine. I did not like Death Proof. The car chase, amazing. Everything up until then, crap.
Wasn't he? Oh yeah, wasn't he in that too?
Yeah,
Kurt
he
Russell's
was.
Yeah.
Yep, he was. Unrelated. Last 15 minutes, probably the greatest car chase of all time. Everything before that, awful. How did I get there?
We're talking about the planet.
Oh yeah, Ego the Living Planet. We're
Yes.
talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Got on Tarantino.
By Kurt Russell.
Yeah, we see a shot of Peter Quill from behind. We also see a little bit in front later. It almost looks like he's looking at something otherworldly. It almost gives the impression that he's doing it from a space, but we see it's definitely on the ground later. I think he's looking at the inside of Ego, all this blue swirly stuff. We also see Gamora looking from a ship. You see a similar color and idea later, so I think Ego is going to be almost this radiating blue planet.
Like a ether.
Potentially where his face is, because I mean, Ego the Living Planet literally is a planet with a face and a beard.
The man in the moon.
Yeah, kind of. But I think we're seeing a little bit of Ego. Yondu, we already saw this. He's going to have his full mohawk like he does in the comics. And the last time it was just like an inch over his head.
Yes.
But now he's going full mohawk. One of the interesting things we see Yondu and Rocket walking through what looks like another prison breakout. Except last time where they turned off the gravity and everyone floated up, we have everyone falling slowly while they're walking at a normal pace.
Which you brought up an interesting theory.
Yeah. One of the two remaining Infinity Gems that we haven't dealt with is the Time Gem. So there could be some kind of time displacement, potentially looking at the time gem. We also have, shortly after that, some characters of unknown alien race like come at the screen, and then we see them in slow motion. It might just be a slow motion shot, or it might be dealing more with the idea of the time gem. And then, of course, Baby Groot in a jacket,
Yes.
which looks adorable.
With Rocket.
Yeah. I'll take it.
No, I think it was a good.
It looks really good.
I loved the one line of dialogue they gave you though. That was good. There are two types of people in this world: those who dance in this universe, those who dance and those who do not. She is not a dancer.
How did Chris Pratt get, like, stupid handsome?
I don't know. He used to be super chunk.
Yeah, and now I'm just like,
From chunk to hunk.
he really did.
It's unfair.
Stupid handsome.
Unfair.
But he has silly sideburns. At least in this movie.
Yes.
But they're space sideburns. I guess he doesn't need to keep up with current facial hair trends,
And yes, Star-Lord on the cutting edge of the galaxy's hair fashions.
apparently. Stupid handsome, though. But that's about it. And then we got our first trailer for Logan.
This one was really good. I really like this one.
Johnny Cash. A song that is designed to just pull at the heartstrings.
Yes, which is a Nine Inch Nails song.
Yep. I was thinking of another one. Yeah, because that was on the last 4. Was it 4 or 5? I think it was 4, and then there was one posthumous one. His last 4 albums when he was alive were called, like, the American ones. I think this was on American number 3. And it was nothing but cover songs.
Yep. But I mean, this, I think, if I remember correctly, Hurt, when he sang it, charted higher than when the Nine Inch Nails sang it.
I'm sure it did. The Nine Inch Nails one is not that enjoyable of a song.
No, it's not.
But the Johnny Cash version, great. It's just one of those things that it's, like, designed to just, like, make you feel, like, sad and depressed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but it really got a lot of play because it was right after his wife died, too. If I remember correctly.
I'm not sure.
Fact-checking the show.
Started off the weird thing, and this came out last week, and I couldn't find the original source for it. It was just like, reports say, and I couldn't find what report that was, that this movie is supposedly taking place in 2024. Why is that weird, you ask? Because Days of Future Past is supposed to end in 2023, and they all have, like, a happy fairy tale ending where everyone's alive, and things are fine, and everyone looks super healthy. I don't necessarily believe these reports.
No, negative. By the way, it was American 4, The Man Comes Around, was the album.
I own the damn thing.
Yeah.
I guess I'll believe you, even though I own it somewhere. It's in this house. And on my iTunes. Yeah, no, it's in a CD somewhere.
Oh.
I got it kicking around here in the basement. On the other side. We don't go there.
No, it's dangerous in there.
But I don't know if I believe that where it's necessarily 2024, because Xavier looks old and unhealthy, and he has some kind of dementia, and Wolverine looks old and unhealthy.
It actually has, like, scarring.
Yeah, that came out. The director, James Mangold, was saying it's like, just with age, his healing factor, like, it still works, but he just has to get, like, it's just slowed down with age, as anything would do with people with age, and it just doesn't give him, like, baby fresh skin anymore.
That's a reasonable thing.
So it also makes him a little more hesitant to use his claws, because now they're going to scar and bleed out.
Nobody wants that.
Nope. Comparatively to the Old Man Logan story, which is this supposedly kind of based off, even though I think it's going to be end at him just being an old man.
Although he dies in the Old Man Logan story, correct?
No. He dies in Death of Wolverine, which is titled The Death of Wolverine.
Which is after Old Man Logan.
Or 4.
Oh.
Alternate time. Old Man Logan doesn't count for continuity.
Ah.
But in that, he kills all of the X-Men. Because he's tricked into it. Like, Mysterio gets into his head and he thinks that they're all villains. And they're all, like, reluctant to fight him. And he kills everyone.
Hmm.
And then he has a train run over his head.
Ow. That'll do it.
Well, no, he was just sad.
Yeah, but having a train run over your head was...
He was walking around listening to Johnny Cash being all mopey. He's like, I just want to feel something. So he stuck his head under a train.
Logan. Come on, Logan.
I don't think he was listening to Johnny Cash, but I bet he was.
Logan.
Yeah. And then he kills some inbred Hulk kids. It's a thing.
Anyway.
I don't necessarily believe that. We see that Professor Xavier is living in a downed water tower. It's very circular. It looks kind of, I'm assuming it's going to be Cerebro-like.
In a desert type area.
Yeah, which doesn't necessarily mean they make it look apocalyptic. the rest of the world might be fine. They just might be in a desert
They could be in
kind
a
of
desert.
town.
I asked the question, do you think that Logan is living with him and helping take care of Charles?
He might be. I mean, I have a theory on what's going on.
Okay.
Because we've seen some marketing stuff saying, like, where have all the mutants gone, or something like that, like, scrawled on a wall. And given how bad Wolverine and Xavier look, I'm going to say it's some kind of virus is going around. In an X-Men lore, there has been a virus that's taken care of them before. The Legacy virus. It was a big thing. This is, what was it, late 90s, early 2000s? Where the Legacy virus was kicking around. It was a long, overcomplicated story. Just go with virus that kills mutants.
That's an interesting name to call it the Legacy virus. Like, we don't call it the flu, like, you know, the diamond virus. It's the flu virus. Legacy, to me, like, feels like it's special and prestigious.
It was designed to kill mutants.
It wasn't like a naturally occurring thing. It was like, hey, we're going to inject these mutants with this.
I don't feel like it's been a long time. I don't think so. I remember how the Legacy virus stuff ended fairly well, but before that, it was long and complicated, and they really should have wrapped it up like a year earlier.
Fair enough.
But the other part of this might involve is they could take that story, the aptly titled The Death of Wolverine. I think he's going to die at the end of this.
I think he is too. There will be, and we talked about it before. He said he's done being Wolverine too.
Yeah, and the way that he, spoilers for that comic that's out that has a very obvious title, he dies.
What?
I also really hated it.
Because he died?
Not necessarily. It was just when you're literally titling something like The Death of Wolverine, you're like, well,
I know what's going to happen to him.
really put that up front. And then there was like all this like countdown stuff. Like they would show his hand with like all 3 claws. I would say like 3 months to live, and then the next month like one of the claws would be shown like exploding. It'd be like 2 months to live. There's this whole countdown. By the time it happened, you're like, yep,
He's going to die.
we're very aware and prepped for this. Thank you for...
It doesn't... Don't you feel like that takes away from some of like the emotional aspect of it?
Because you're just waiting. You're like, yep. And you're like, well, okay, this is a 4-issue miniseries, so he's going to die in issue 4. And we've had a whole countdown going into this series. Yeah, so I mean, at the time, I was just like, yeah.
Wouldn't it have been more effective if they didn't tell you and they die and that's just how it ends?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'd be like, what?
That'd be insane. That'd be much better than versus like 3 months to die. 2 months. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Logan's going to get it.
Oh, thanks for, really, this isn't subtle marketing.
No. We're straight up telling you how it's going to be.
But he loses his healing factor. That was in the story a little before that. But what ends up happening is someone is trying to recreate the Weapon X program, one of the original founders of it, and he messes the whole thing up. And he ends up cutting loose all of this adamantium, and it covers him, and he watches, like, I think it's like a sunrise or a sunset. The sun is going down in the east and or west.
The sun goes down in the west.
I know, but I can't remember which way it was, like sunrise or sunset. And like he ends up like.
Well, if the sun's going down, it's sunset.
I don't remember which way it was. Okay, this is a minor detail in this story.
Well, you said the sun was going down. That's
it
sunset.
Might be going up.
The sun doesn't go down at sunset. I mean, yes. Wait, check. The sun goes down at sunset.
And it
comes up.
Yes, yeah. I don't remember which one it was. The sun was at its beginning or end cycle of the day.
Okay, so the sun is involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, that's the most important part here. And they he kneels down and he watches it, but like he's fully covered with adamantium, and then it hardens. He just becomes a statue and dies. I don't think that's necessarily how they're going to go. The way the Legacy virus ended is Beast came up with a cure for it, and then Colossus injected himself, and it killed Colossus. But look, it's comics, okay?
Yeah, he's an alternate timeline.
Nope, because then he came back. Even though they spread his ashes in Russia. They're like, he's definitely dead. They're like, haha, no, he's not.
Oh, he's back.
Comics, yeah. Weren't his ashes. But I think maybe that at the end of it, he'll like stop the Legacy virus if there is a Legacy virus, and that will be how he dies. I think Weapon X coming back might be a possibility. We do see, we knew this ahead, but that the Reavers are going to be involved with this movie, and they're just cyborgs. We saw one guy with a robot arm. That's all we really saw. But like they go hardcore. They're like one guy, I think his name's Bone Crusher. He replaced his lower half and legs just with tank treads.
That would be effective. That would be effective in crushing one's bones, I would think.
But I mean, they go hardcore on like their cybernetics. So there's another one's like pretty boy, and like he's literally just like an attractive face and nothing else,
And
but like
all
straight
metal.
robot. Yeah.
So like Borg with personalities.
Yeah. And they're always at war with the mutants, so we're going to be seeing that. The other thing we definitely see, and at first when the trailer dropped, they're like, I don't know, is it? And then 2 days later, they're like, yeah, it is. We see X-23.
The young girl.
The 23rd clone of Wolverine, Laura, who has an iPhone for some reason.
Product placement.
That was just really weird. It's like, I'm going to take
Well,
your
the reasons
hand
we're all driving
emotionally.
Range Rovers. It sits up right across the
I
windshield.
was just like, huh.
Wonder how much...
I guess it might be 2024 because that kid just has an iPhone.
Yeah.
Apparently cell reception's still working, so I guess not a full apocalypse.
No, well, yeah, probably not. Or maybe it's just an iPod and she's got some kicking tunes.
Nope, not an iPod, it's an iPhone.
There are iPods with cameras.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it is. Either way, she has to be able to charge that thing, so there's still some electricity.
Generators. They have electricity on The Walking Dead, man.
Do they?
From what I understand, yes. I really
haven't
don't
watched
watch
that
it.
show in a while.
I trolled the kids in my homeroom at school so hard by throwing out like fake spoilers because they were all like, "Oh, I didn't get to watch Walking Dead yet." And I'm like, "Oh, you're never gonna believe what happens," and the kids were like going crazy.
I don't like that show. It's fine if you like it. It's just not for me.
The first season was cool, and I never really was able to get into the second season. I liked the first season.
I love like atmospheric horror, and I love like 1980s like over the top horror where it's like some kind of practical effect and then just definitely like a hose of blood. Yeah, I want my blood in hose form, but I'm not big into realistic violence. And yeah, I know it's zombies, but I mean still like the blood and like the flesh and all that stuff. It's not my thing.
You don't like...
And it's such a depressing show. It's just week after week of depression, and it doesn't do it for me.
I liked the first season because it was world building and it was like what would happen, and now it's just, from what I understand, it's just like, I don't know.
I also like, I'm big into character driven. Like I'll always take character driven over plot driven stuff, and when I don't feel an attachment to the characters because they're definitely gonna die, then this doesn't do it for me.
You know what show I just recently started watching that I'm getting into, but maybe it's me because I like poli science and like, you know, maybe it's because it's election season, but Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland.
Isn't he a cokehead?
Maybe not anymore.
Okay.
But it's like, it's weird because he's not Jack Bauer from 24 anymore. He's like the Housing and Urban Development Secretary, and he wasn't at the State of the Union.
Have you ever seen that video of him getting drunk and just taking out a Christmas tree?
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I know. Says the man who watches Vin Diesel go on wine-laden tirades. This is the longest news segment ever in the history of the podcast.
Okay, so we know X-23 is in there. They initially said, like, it might not be her. And then, like, 2 days later, like, yeah, it's her.
Yeah, way to stick to your guns.
But it definitely was all along. Like, why are you even pretending that it's not? Like, you show her claws in the trailer. You're like, it's connected to you. We saw someone, Mr. Sinister, take Wolverine's DNA at the end of the last crappy movie. Why are we pretending this is anything different?
There's no need to.
No, it was dumb.
Very dumb.
Hopefully this movie's good. I enjoyed the last Wolverine movie. We'll see.
Well, it's the last Wolverine movie, so.
Yeah, I kind of just want to scrap this whole universe. Like, even with a couple of attempts to make it work, there's so many continuity errors. It's laughable how much this universe just doesn't work. And how you can't make excuses for it. Like, sometimes things won't work and you'll be able to, like, make...
It's like collapsing under its own weight.
Oh, my God. Speaking of sinking ships, this one's impossible.
Titanic?
Even dumb little stuff like X-Men Apocalypse was built around how do we make James McAvoy bald?
Shave. That's what I would
this
do.
Xavier has hair. Or not, like, full head of hair, but...
Well, Patrick Stewart doesn't grow full heads of hair.
Yeah, but he still grows the, like, old man amount, and McAvoy was, like, totally bald because that's what they built the movie around.
Dude, I don't know. I try not to think of those things. I like to go and enjoy the movie.
They have a crappy universe, and it's hilarious.
Enjoy the movie.
Really hated Apocalypse.
You spent the better part of an hour plus.
I guess that will do it for the news. We are moving on this Halloween.
Ooh.
To the long Halloween. In this... Oh, we have a new theme for one whole week. For this spooky edition of Jared's Reading Corner.
It's Jared's
Reading
I half said that we have a new theme for me just so I'd remember to edit it in.
Ah, good for you.
Edit point. The Long Halloween. This is a Batman story from the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. They've done a ton of work together, both on the Marvel and DC side of things. They work very well together. But it's one of my favorite Batman stories, all told. I'd probably put this in top 5, if not. It might even crack top 3.
A lot of people that I've talked to that are into comics, they love this story. And they say it's one of the quintessential Batman stories.
Yeah, and I mean, this came out, I don't remember when it came out, early 2000s, late 90s, and it still kind of acts as a bit of a prequel to some Batman stuff.
Let's see.
It was like 96, I think.
96.
But for those who haven't read it, you can see that this movie greatly inspires The Dark Knight, and they stole a ton from here. From dialogue to characters to motivations, there is a ton that The Dark Knight cribbed from this story.
Oh, there's so much stuff that you can read through and just rip out of it that you can just say, oh, this is definitely from that universe. And I mean, well, Christopher Nolan on the cover of the graphic novel
is he on there?
version, he's on the front. Yeah, he's on the front cover.
Yeah.
There's a conversation with Christopher Nolan inside of it, in the first couple of pages talking about it. Christopher Nolan and David Goyer.
This comic got me a sweet mint, a sweet amount of money. Not quite $1 billion, but awful close.
This one?
Well, Dark Knight.
Oh, Dark Knight.
I don't think they cracked $1 billion. I don't know. I don't care. That was $2008. Who knows?
A lot of money.
What is Batman: The Long Halloween?
It is, well, it's 13 episodes, 13 books. Each was released over a month. I did a little background research, too. Paying attention to it.
I think that's also pretty upfront considering books come out once a month, and this was clearly meant to take place in like real time.
Yes. It ends up being an interesting origin story for a well-known villain. But Batman: The Long Halloween, in short, it feels like it's one of Batman's toughest cases he has to solve. There's someone who's killing people every month on a holiday, usually the major holiday of the month. Except for April. Nobody died in April.
I like that.
April was good. April was really, really good for one individual.
The Riddler.
Yes. I guess I could say that.
Look, we're going to talk about this book, but there's also going to be a point where I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not going to spoil the ending.
Yeah, definitely.
Kirby, what are you doing here, bud?
Very interesting.
Hey, boy.
There's a lot of...
What are you doing down here?
Just
This
visiting.
isn't where you live.
Go, Kirby, go!
Bye, Kirby.
No, I mean, this to me very much felt familiar to the Dark Knight world, the Christopher Nolan world. I can see where some of it had come from.
But yeah, like you said, the short version is this follows Batman over the course of a year. A killer starts at Halloween and then kills on every major holiday within the preceding months over the course of a year. And we're not going to give away the ending to this book. We'll talk about it up to a certain point. But then we really can't. It's well worth reading. It's no fun if we spoil the end.
But you have the Falcone crime family. You have the Roman.
Yep. And I've always been, because in the movie, I think it was the movies, they pronounce it Falcone. Yeah. It doesn't read Falcone, it reads Falcone.
Yeah.
Which is how they pronounce it in the Gotham TV series that I no longer watch.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of that, are you?
I almost gave it a season, but boy, no.
No? Couldn't make it that far into it? No, I thought it was real interesting. We get a little bit of everybody in this, too. I mean, there is everybody. Most of the Rogue Gallery is in it. Catwoman plays a big role.
My favorite is, so they know that this killer is happening on all of the major holidays. So they go to Calendar Man.
Who the hell is Calendar Man?
He's a really...
obscure?
Not relatively. He's one of the more ridiculous Batman villains that everyone knows.
Yeah.
There's some real obscure ones, but then there's those, super silly ones that everyone knows. Everyone knows, Calendar Man or Crazy Quilt. And these are, the super silly ones that have just kind of maintained by their silliness.
Calendar Man.
Clock King, stuff like that. Silly villains.
His evil villainness is to give you 3 desk calendars for Christmas.
That you'll never use.
Those one-a-day
The
tear-off
daily, like-
calendars.
I don't even like Dilbert that much. Kirby, you're back. Hi, bud.
Hey, it's Get Start Kirby the dog.
What are you doing? Why are you down here?
Kirby wants to speak about the long Halloween. Thank you for visiting, Kirby. Hey,
I think he might be here to stay for a little while.
Hi, Kirby. Oh, that's cool.
Don't mess up my soundproofing, bud.
Oh, where is he going? Here he is.
Wherever he wants.
Yes. So what do you think of the long Halloween Kirby? As you step on it.
But I want some attention.
Yeah. So no, you get the two crime families. You've got Batman. You got Jim Gordon, Harvey Dent.
Yep. And
All the elements are there.
So we have Harvey Dent. This is early in Batman's career, so this is pre-Two-Face Harvey Dent. Even though this came out in the 90s, obviously well after he was established as a long-standing Batman villain.
Yes. But it, also, like...
he wasn't in the 66 show, but apparently they wanted to have it be Clint Eastwood.
Really? That's interesting trivia.
But the episode got scrapped, basically because the producer didn't like the writer.
Seems to be a lot of that happens in Hollywood and TV land. Somebody doesn't like somebody, and something doesn't get done.
Yeah. But what happens early on is Falcone, who is known as the Roman in this, his son is killed.
Yes.
And that starts this whole thing of who killed the Roman's son, and
His son was the first one to die.
yeah, and it's this whole mystery of who did it and who's involved. It doesn't involve other crime families. Doesn't there's all of these different theories that are being thrown around about who the killer is, and we all, anyone who's partially aware of Batman, we all know that Harvey Dent ultimately becomes Two-Face,
Yes.
and a ton of people suspect that Harvey Dent is the killer.
Including Falcone.
And Batman.
And Batman. Batman is also very much suspicious of
But
it.
they even do like that whole he even says like the lines right out of Dark Knight. He's like, I believe in Harvey Dent.
Oh, it's all
I
over.
believe in Gotham. I
believe
believe
in
in Jim
yeah.
Gordon and all that kind of stuff. Like things that we saw in the Dark Knight are repeated here.
Thankfully, Kirby didn't eat your notes.
Yeah, not this time.
It's happened before, hasn't it, buddy?
But so we have Harvey Dent as the district attorney. He goes home and his home is blown up after he goes after the mob.
To which I was like, oh, is this where... Because I knew, like, Harvey got acid thrown in his face, and that's how he became Harvey Two-Face.
Yep.
Like, I knew that. But, like, with his home blowing up, I'm thinking, okay, maybe his wife is, killed here, so you get some of that, where you can see that maybe that was, like, an influence on, like, the Rachel storyline and Rachel dying. Rachel! Where my family never had a chance to start. Where my family ended. Anyway. It's awfully presumptuous of him to say that his family ended there, because, she said yes to marrying Harvey, but did she really?
Well, she said yes when she was going to blow up.
So it doesn't really count. Anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't. But yeah, he blows up. Then we get a bunch, I'm sure some, first, we see Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
He's a lot of fun, Solomon Grundy, born on a Sunday, and they go through the whole, rhyme.
Yes.
That's the only thing that he ever speaks in.
How cool is it, though, that Batman has Thanksgiving dinner with him?
I love that he gives, Solomon Grundy's living underground, and Batman, he's like, I have plans for Thanksgiving, and he just goes down to the sewers to give Solomon Grundy, a nice Thanksgiving meal. But there's this whole the guy who dies, the Roman son, is John Vitti. It's like, who killed John Vitti? And then we cut to Christmas, and we have the Joker just straight stealing presents from people.
Oh.
Not killing them, he's just taking Christmas away. He is the Grinch.
And he's, quoting the Grinch lines.
Oh, and by the way, because I noticed when I was cutting and I left it in that I got cut off, said, because I love Universal Horror so much, that's why I kind of forgive the Grinch as a special, because Karloff is the Grinch in that movie.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, that one gets a pass. Mostly because I like Boris Karloff so much.
Good.
There we go. I've now made up for something I didn't get to finish.
No, you didn't really
week or two
You're not
ago.
going to atone for all of your sins on that, though, because from what I understand, you did get some reasonable flack from people on that.
Hanna-Barbera is the worst. I hate it. And for anyone who says differently, when was the last time you went back and watched it?
I think that's a direct call-out to some of the Ed heads right there.
It's the worst. It's so terrible. Why would I watch that when I had choices like Bruce Timm or Don Bluth or any other amazing animators at the time? Why would I possibly watch Hanna-Barbera?
You know what was fun that I did last week after we had our discussion? I went, and on YouTube you can find they have compilations of like all the like 80s and 90s cartoon openings, and there was some on there that I hadn't seen in years, and I remembered it like, oh my god, I remember this show, and I can't like remember the name of the shows right now, but like there was some
Biker
like,
Mice from Mars.
nope, not that one.
That was one.
Oh, well, I know, but that wasn't one of them.
But yeah, so the Joker is stealing things. He suspects that Dent is the holiday killer, and he doesn't think there could be more than one psychopathic killer who kills at random in Gotham.
Yeah.
So he has a plan. Kill everyone.
Yes.
I'm gonna bomb Gotham.
Yes.
It's like, there's a good chance he's down there, so I'm just gonna blow everyone up. Kirby, you're really picking up on Mike with your jingle jangle. We're talking about Christmas. Thanks for your bell background noise, I guess.
Attaboy.
So Batman, like, jumps on a biplane,
Yes.
beats up the Joker.
As the Joker's getting ready to like gas Gotham City on New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah, because that goes right from Christmas to New Year's. And then we get some kind of underground stuff. We have, like, Poison Ivy in there, and she's taking money from Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
to give to the Roman.
Then she's taking more than that from Bruce Wayne.
And Catwoman gets all mad because she's like, that's my man!
Yes. Selina's like, no. Poison Ivy lady. He's mine.
I mean, we can kind of sum up some of the stuff that happens on holidays. Like, April Fool's Day, no one dies.
No, it's the Riddler. I love the scene where Batman goes to the Riddler's hideout and he's like, what time is it when Batman finds your hideout? Time to get a new hideout. And he's like, stone drunk.
Yeah. It's a terrible riddle.
Yes.
The Scarecrow gets released from Arkham on Mother's Day.
Yep.
And there's some suspicion that when Poison Ivy had Bruce under her spell, that he's been supplying money to the mob. So Gordon and Harvey Dent start to investigate Bruce Wayne.
Even though Bruce is innocent.
Yes, he's Batman. Spoiler alert, I guess.
What? Who else?
But I like how rough Mother's Day and Father's Day are on him.
Oh yeah.
Like that's some like touching stuff. And even though he was like had this, it's even worse because the Scarecrow has poisoned him. So
Yes.
as bad as Mother's Day might normally be, it's that much worse.
It's even worse.
He's drugged.
Who was Scarecrow was running around with who? I'm trying to remember who the other person they
Mad
were.
Hatter.
Oh, Mad Hatter, yes.
For your Alice in Wonderland villains. But no Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
No, none. It was not a very happy on birthday.
But then, of course, we get the whole thing in, like, with Harvey Dent getting scarred in court.
Yes.
Which is kind of the classic origin of him. This comic flows in real time because we're going through the monthly holidays. And, of course, this is coming out on the appropriate months. But overall, I mean, there's only so much I can say about it because I don't want to spoil it. Basically, everyone is a suspect as of who is this holiday killer.
And I can imagine as it was coming out in real time in 96 into 97. I mean, that's real edge of your seat stuff.
Java City forums were exploding all over the place.
Yes. The internet bulletin boards, people getting on ICQ.
On GeoCities, sending things from their Roadrunner email accounts.
Making their own GeoCities.
Was it ICM? Was that one of them?
No, there was ICQ was the chat client.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Probably.
Yeah, the thing was like, ow! Every time you got a... Well, Kirby didn't like that noise. Oh, he did. He's like, what is that? Ow! Ow! No?
No, he's just looking at you because he thinks you're insane.
He's like, I am going to attack you. Attack dog, Kirby. Yeah, no, they were making their own GeoCities web pages, fan theories, using their free internet from America Online with those CD-ROMs.
Instant Messenger was blowing up.
On their dial-up modem.
What did you... I had, we had Windows 95. We had a gateway computer.
We had
that for a long time. Like, we skipped Windows 98 when, like, right to Windows ME.
What did we have? I want to say we had an HP. A Hewlett-Packard, I think.
Thanks for saying what HP is.
Yeah, with Windows 95. Or was it Windows 90? We get with Windows 98. But I remember at the time, our hard drive on our computer was the biggest available. Do you know how big it was?
2 megabytes or something.
1 gigabyte.
Ooh.
It was like the big thing to have.
I don't feel like we're selling Long Halloween enough for how good it is. Like, this is a one-year mystery, and they really do kind of cover a ton of Batman villains. You also have a love story going on with Catwoman and can they trust each other? Can they not? And also at the same time, there's a Bruce Wayne, Selena Kyle one going on, which also I think makes them both a little trampy. Because they both think they have someone on the side.
Ooh.
But they don't know it's the same person.
So is it really that bad? Is it really that trampy?
Yes.
Fair enough. Come on, they have to know. Catwoman knows who Bruce Wayne is.
Not in this story. I also like that they use kind of a classic Catwoman costume, which is much more cat-like
Yes.
than her updated suit.
Selena shows some big-time cleavage early in the book, too.
She does that. I mean, that's kind of part of her costume in general. And she's at least one that I feel okay with the way they use it. Like, she's one that uses sexuality as a weapon.
Yes. I like how she, Bruce had the cut on his face, and he's like, cut myself shaving. Mm-hmm. And Alfred doesn't seem to want to do it, or I keep asking Alfred to help me with it.
I love the art. Tim Sale is, and especially when, who's the colorist on this?
Jeff Wright. Or Greg Wright, sorry.
I think they've used, but it's this great use of atmosphere and colors. Like there's some really like dark blues when it's dark, but there's also some really light colors when it needs to be light. And it's very warm and cold when it needs to be.
I like all the murder type scenes, black and white with red for the blood. Mm-hmm. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, these two as a combo, they've done things like their most recent one was Captain America White, but they've done Daredevil Yellow, Spider-Man Blue, Dark Victory. Just really good work together, and I like always seeing the two of them, and this is no exception.
I love the courtroom scene. All right, as you're looking at the big 2-page courtroom spread. There's a man and a woman eating a sandwich and a bag lunch. It's like a Where's Waldo. I also have one, like, I'm gonna play nitpicky like Zach, right? So when they throw the acid on Harvey's face and Falcone says it would eat through concrete, why didn't it eat through the plastic and acid bottle?
This isn't 100% for every issue, but they use this old Jack Kirby kind of style storytelling. They open with a splash page. And this isn't for everyone, it's for most of them. And then they go right into a 2-page spread. That's this old, like, dynamic Jack Kirby style of storytelling that they're using, which I'm always a big fan of.
Hence your dog being named Kirby.
No, I just like vacuum cleaners.
That too. Or that Nintendo game. Remember the Kirby video
Yeah,
game?
I'm very aware of Kirby.
But you didn't answer my question, which is more pressing.
What was that?
So Falcone says that when he throws the acid on Harvey Dent's face, right? He's like, that'll eat through concrete. How did it not melt the plastic and acid bottle it was in?
Because certain type of plastics don't melt.
I'm not buying it. It's melting this guy's face off.
If you don't believe me, go watch the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, where there's like a certain kind of plastic that won't corrode when they're using hydrochloric acid to melt bodies.
Oh yeah,
but instead Jesse does it in a bathtub and it eats through the bathtub and then the ceiling.
And and the liquefied body splashes on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, so Breaking Bad tells me that that's fine.
But I think they proved on MythBusters that hydrochloric acid doesn't eat through a bathtub.
That show had like 17 seasons.
Or maybe it ate through the floor and the bathtub fell through the floor and then it broke.
That's funny too. Either way, Breaking Bad tells me that the poison in a bottle is fine.
As opposed to like a chemistry class.
Breaking Bad was my chemistry class.
Was it your graduate level chemistry class?
Probably.
Okay, there you go.
Did I take chemistry? I don't know. I might have.
I would think you did.
I think in high school, maybe.
I didn't actually. I never took chemistry in high school. I got away with not taking chemistry or physics in high school.
I think it was one or the other, and I think I ended up with chemistry. But I don't remember.
I did take anatomy. I took oceanography. I took astronomy. I took a whole bunch of other stuff.
You took all of the crap sciences? Oceanography?
Oceanography was tough, man. Astronomy was fun because we kept getting the teacher to talk about aliens. He's like, I'm only going to talk about aliens once every day.
I don't know. With Long Halloween, there's only so much I want to say about it just because the ending and the ending, how they set it up.
The twist ending is amazing.
There's really 2 endings, and I can't talk about either one of them.
No, because you don't want to ruin it. But I love the ending, and I didn't see the very ending coming.
Yeah, no, I don't. I love it. It's so great. Because there's a lot of evidence that points to quite a few different characters of who is the holiday killer. And the most damning evidence goes towards Harvey Dent and I feel like even that's saying too much. It's like it's definitely not him, but it's not.
It's not who you would expect.
It's great, and his transformation into Two-Face and seeing the darker side of him before that.
Yes, I loved how it kept you guessing.
Look, let's be upfront. This is one of the best Batman books out there. If you haven't read it, go buy The Long Halloween. It's also good. For this holiday, it's like even though it is The Long Halloween, it's also the long holiday book.
Yeah, it's good for every holiday. I love in the end when they captured the holiday killer and he's in a cell across from Calendar Man and they're having a holiday
related argument about
yeah.
who's the better holiday related
who
murderer.
Knows better. Today was National Fried Food Day, by the way. Well, that being Tuesday.
It's a real crap holiday.
The 25th. Making sure I had the right date because the show doesn't come out till Wednesday, but still. So yeah, I would recommend it as well.
Yeah, especially if you like a good. It's a great mystery too. It's a good murder mystery, and it's not impossible to get what's going on. But I mean, the end still really. It will take you by.
The end, I'm like, oh,
well, what I really
son of a bitch.
I always hate stories where like if there's a twist ending, but I don't like when there's twist endings that are impossible to figure out.
This twist ending was kind of like.
You're like, oh, okay, that works. It all works. But I hate like when there are twist endings where it's just, like this is a really random one, but if you go watch like Tim Burton's remake of Sleepy Hollow, they have a twist ending. You're like, that is 100% impossible to ever predict. It doesn't work.
You ever see the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington?
No.
Good twist ending in that. I'm not going to say it on the podcast because I don't want to ruin it for people. But it was a good, very plausible, one of those, oh, you clever bastard twist endings.
There's a letter I've been sitting on for a little while that I wanted to use.
So, letters to the editors?
Yep.
Here's your letters to the editors. To submit your questions, email us at editorsnotecomics@gmail.com.
I was thinking about this on the way home. I didn't prep a letter at all. I'm like, I know I have a couple. Email more letters in because I'm running low.
Oh yeah, so yeah, send us your letters.
I'm not out, but I'm.
We also need to get some more tweets from Jerry Rich.
Oh yeah,
tweets from Junior Rich. I said Jerry Rich. I don't like it. I'll look and see if I had a tweet worth reading this week. Oh, I got actually Scott Zolak, New England Patriots radio broadcaster and former Patriots quarterback, tweeted at me on my birthday. So there's that. Let's see who else. Oh, and thank you for the birthday wishes from Bob. Oh, and I want to thank our buddy Ross for the birthday wishes.
I told him it was your birthday.
Yeah, and he even encouraged me to have a tall, cold Bud Light on him.
Give me the money and I'll be sure to pass it along.
All right, there you go.
I won't, but give me the money. All right.
So Ross, don't give Zach the money because it'll never make its way to me.
All right, letters to the editor. In terms of condition, what are the most important things you look for when purchasing an old comic book, and how much does it affect the value?
I wouldn't know the first thing.
I have a little bit of a cynical answer here.
Okay.
And the real answer to this is it doesn't matter. Literally every single comic book and every collectible is worthless, intrinsically worthless. Things are only worth what you're willing to pay for them.
Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, there's got to be some historical value to it. I mean, I know you recently sold an original Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I got a bit of money for it. But, I mean, by itself, I couldn't go into a grocery store and be like, I'll trade you this comic book for food.
Well, that's because that's not how our system of economics works, though.
All this stuff, if it's something that will make you happy and if it's something that you're willing, like it's an amount of money you're willing to pay for it, that's all it's worth.
But
I don't care what things, like, what price guides will tell you things are worth. It all just comes down to, like, what it means to you, what it means for your collection. Are you a collector who only wants to buy things that are in, like, insane, like, mint condition shape? Are you someone who's just trying to finish off a run and you're okay taking a book that's a lower grade? Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like,
I think maybe the question, let me try and help the
I know this is a really cynical answer to it.
Well,
especially for someone who sells these things.
And especially shocking for somebody who is never cynical and is always even-keeled. And reasonable. Let me reframe the question. How do I know if I'm paying too much?
You're only paying too much if it's not like if it's something more than you're willing to pay.
How do I know I'm getting ripped off? What should I be looking for when I'm making this kind of purchase that I know that I'm not getting ripped off? Because I understand what you're saying about when you assign value to it, but if you're going out to buy and purchase, how do you know that you're not getting screwed over when you make this purchase?
The only stuff that I would ever be really concerned about is stuff that's counterfeit, because it's pretty easy to counterfeit a lot of these old things. Like a lot of you'll buy books that will say like you'll go on eBay and it'll be like, and like a big selling point will be like white pages, but it's like, and you'll go look at that like, okay, this was originally printed on newsprint, which is not white, so that's fake.
So maybe what the
all I would really do, it's like value of things are always going to go up and down and based on what's popular at the time. But all I would really say is just to be careful of, especially when buying older items, just to make sure you're not getting something that's counterfeit.
So how do I know? So that's probably where I think the question really is leading, is if I'm going to invest money, if I find that this book has that much value to me that I'm willing to shell out some big time money for it, how do I know that what I'm getting is genuine, it's real, and it's worth what I'm paying for it?
I mean, the reality is research. It's not the most exciting answer, but anything out there you can find, like, and you'll and there's certainly, yeah, if you want to go like with high grade books, and some people like to get what are called CGC books, and that's when you send it to this company CGC, and they have 3 different people look at it, and they give it a rating, and then it's slabbed in a protective case forever. That might be a way that you go about it if that's how you want to collect. I don't personally like it. I think it's overpriced, and I think it's totally subjective and a load of crap. And also, they don't have a really good way to display CGC books, and I think they're stupid.
So for you, because you've invested quite a bit of money into artwork.
Yeah.
So what were you looking for in that artwork, and what led you to your determination that this is what I'm going to pay for this, and this is the most I'm willing to pay?
I mean, it all just comes, and even that's totally subjective with what the seller is willing to do with it, and more than what the seller is willing to do, what a buyer is willing to do.
Yeah, because you have some original Serenity artwork on the wall.
Yeah, and some of this stuff, I mean even that ranges. Some of it was relatively inexpensive. Some of it was pretty damn expensive.
But again, it goes like, why would you? I mean,
it all comes down to the individual. And I know that's a really vague answer, and you can find price guides that are printed. Like there's the Comics Buyer Guide that comes out, and you can find stuff on like comicspriceguide.com, which is usually, that's the site that I use when I'm judging prices for the store.
So might as well go behind the curtain a little bit here. How do you assign prices to things that you sell in the store that are maybe vintage, a little older, aren't your regular run of the mill first run current comics?
It depends. Usually, the first thing I do, if it's something like, if it's like $20 and under, I don't really usually double check it. Like, I can I'm not going to say that I'm a professional and certified, but I can grade books fairly well, just because some of the way grading is done, people get down to craziness, to an eighth of an inch, oh, you had this many spine breaks this far apart and blah blah blah, and this many the color is wrong here and there, and it gets down to a bit. But so I'll go and I'll grade a book, and then I'll go look on a price guide and say, okay, for this grade, this book is worth X number of dollars, and then I will try and sell it for X number of dollars. But when I start getting to a little bit pricier, I'll go through that first process. I'll grade the book. I'll go compare it to a price guide. But then I go look on online sales. And I have people come in and they're I'll be okay, this book is worth X number of dollars. But I see people putting it up on eBay for 3 times that much. I'm yeah, they're asking that much. They're not getting it.
Yeah, so
there's a big difference.
So you kind of, you take and judge the value of the book based on price guides and your eye on what you see, but then you also kind of compare it against, well, what are people willing to pay?
Yeah, and the reality is it varies. Everything varies, and everything's going to change over time based on popular opinion at the time with any kind of book or character. And the damage also, people will come in a lot with older books, and they're what are these worth? I'm well, these were age is only half of it.
Yeah. When
it comes to value, condition is huge. You can come in with a book from 1960s, but if it's beat to all hell,
Yeah.
Still not gonna be worth anything.
Falling apart. A lot like trading cards.
Yeah,
Or
same
the
idea.
chips, creases, And even then, but there's also maybe some value in some imperfections. Maybe it was a bad printing of the book,
Yeah, and I mean that might
which may
make
have
it,
more value to it because it's
or
not.
might make it less valuable. It really depends on the kind of printing error.
Yeah.
But also, I'm going kind of long on this. It depends on what kind of collector you are. Some people are in this stuff just to collect it. I know I sell to some people who literally never crack a book,
They just want to have it.
but they like to collect it. They like to be part of that thing. They like to buy and sell and trade and all that stuff, and that's what they're in it for. And some people just want to complete a run, or some people are in it just to get like the best stuff, like almost bragging rights on it. It all comes down. There's no one answer. It comes down to what you want personally. How do you want to enjoy your stuff, and what are your limits within it?
Yeah, but I think the big thing is making sure you're not getting ripped off.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, if that's the concern, I use comicspriceguide.com. It's a free. You have to sign up, but it's a free service, and they don't send you any spam mail. Quite frankly, I don't know why you need to sign up because they don't do anything.
Oh well, there you go.
But it's what I use. It's a pretty universal tool, and if you want to look up how to grade comic books, it's also just a couple of clicks of a button. You can see like how things are graded and what people consider to be what grade. It's not that much work.
Okay.
Also,
Good
be happy with what you have. Like, if you want to do things a certain way, do it that way. It's fine. It doesn't matter. All of this stuff is literally worthless.
Get in the early Thanksgiving mood. Be thankful. Be happy.
Yeah, just do it how you want.
Enjoy. Dance your dance.
But also, pay me lots of money for this worthless stuff.
Oh, well,
It's true,
if I wanted to pay you lots of money, where can I find you to do that?
Downtown in Hollowell on Water Street in Maine. Some people are like, you never say it's in Maine. It's fair, I don't. It's in Maine.
Well, the opening does say Central Maine's best comic book podcast by default.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll start pushing people to plug more. I always forget to plug that as much as we actually do need it. I don't understand how it works, but I know it helps a lot.
What?
Rate, review, subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it shows that people listen to the show. We love the Ed Heads.
I don't know. You can find me on the internet. I'm everywhere.
I am the internet.
I need some... I am running low on letters, and I always get worried when I start to run low, so if you want to shoot me an email or a tweet, go for it.
There you go. Or me. I mean, I can answer questions.
You could. And you're on the Twitter.
I am on the Twitter, @JuniorRich.
You want to read tweets on the show.
I
So
do
you
wanna-
also want tweets.
I do want to read tweets to Junior Rich. Our sound guy has made a lovely sound clip.
We never thank him.
Thank you, sound guy.
I think we could be more specific. Mad Titan Productions.
Yes,
can
thank
find
you,
him on
Mad
Twitter.
Titan Productions.
We never give him any credit, and he does.
There's
more
no we
work
about
than
this.
do.
You do. He does a lot of this for you. I'm just along for the ride and the free mac and cheese because we haven't been able to farm this out for my 20% yet.
I know. I gotta get back on that. Well, I took some feedback from places and
From professionals.
from people who said we won't give you money.
But I mean, maybe someday they will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was also good feedback. Unrelated. But I guess we'll see you next week. We are all done with our month of horror.
Ooh.
Happy Halloween. Come by the shop on Saturday. I'll be giving away free stuff.
Will there be candy?
Candy and comics.
Ooh, what kind of candy?
I don't know, I haven't bought it yet.
I mean, are you gonna be the El Cheapo dollar store candy guy, or are you gonna get good quality,
I already promised you I have spent more money on Halloween than people who just buy candy.
Well, I mean,
Those comics aren't free.
Candy's a key component, man. Is it gonna be candy corn at the shop?
No.
Do you like candy corn?
I just tried it again. The answer is still no.
Oh, I was read something
I
ridiculous.
took a small handful. I was like, do I like candy corn yet? No.
I think it was some sort of ridiculous number. Over 20 million pounds of candy corn are made in the United States every year.
That's disgusting.
Or no, is it 2 million tons? It was a large number. It was a lot of candy corn. I like the little fun size, Snickers, Twix. Those are good. Those are good things. I don't like the. You remember the Now and Laters? They were the knockoff wannabe Starbursts.
I'm not really a candy person.
You aren't?
I mean, except for Reese's. Reese's would be my weakness.
Oh, the Reese's Pieces or the Reese's Cups?
Either way, just give me a combination
Some
of
sort of
chocolate and peanut butter.
Chocolate peanut. That's good stuff.
But I'm not a sugar person.
I like Kit Kat. I like Twix. Three Musketeer. I like a good Three Musketeer every now and then. Snickers. Although my favorite snack food, like if I'm chilling around the locker room before practice or something, Nutter Butters.
Oh god, I haven't had that in forever. All right, we'll see you next week for our next month. All mystical stuff. We're getting into wizards.
Ooh, you're a wizard, Harry.
I might not want to do wizard stuff anymore.
Ah.
We'll be back.